Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do just a chit chat and while I'm crocheting and working on this shawl I'm designing. I have another little shawl that I'm working on designing anyway. I need something, so the girls have a volleyball tournament this weekend. Well, you know what, before I get started, get your drink and get your project and get comfortable and sit back while I chit chat. I have my coffee as usual, black coffee. But anyway, I actually just finished a shawl. So today's Friday evening. So by the time you see this, Monday's tutorial is a matinee shawl. So it looks like little, I don't know what you would say, like a cardboard or a little bowl or a little cup of popcorn. And I thought that I'm naming this the matinee shawl because it looks like little movie popcorn all over the shawl. But anyway, so I kind of didn't want to do another shawl, but like I was saying, the girls have a volleyball tournament this weekend, and those tournaments have so their first game is at 9 a.m. Saturday, and then they don't have another game till noon, but we can't leave. So, I have to fill that time, and I thought I have four, holy cow. 4 projects started that I'm trying to work on and get a tutorial for, and they all have different colors in them, so I would have to take more than one skein with me, and I don't want to do that. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna whip out a shawl real quick in my mind. I kind of know what I'm gonna do because I've had this on my to-do list for a while, and so I'm designing that so that Saturday I can take that and work on that all day Saturday, and all I'll have with me is just one skein of yarn, and I don't have to worry about anything else. So that's what I've got going on here. It's the beginning. You can see I want to hold that. Oh, here we go. On my shirt. So you can see. There. See the top hole and then 2 bottoms? So it makes like a triangle like this with a line in the middle right there. The reason being is because, and some of you are just going to say, I don't care, or, what have you, but for those of you that don't know, I started another channel. It's a gaming channel, just like Fiber Spider, and so it's something, just kind of change it up a little bit for something that you guys can listen to while you're crocheting, and you don't have to watch. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a huge Zelda fan. I love Zelda. I have every Zelda game. I have a guidebook to I do have a guidebook to every one of those games. Holy cow. I have a collection. And that is going to lead me into something else I wanted to talk to you guys about. But anyway, so Zelda is the princess, and little Link, is the warrior that always has to save Zelda, right? Well, and there's always something involved called a Triforce, and a Triforce is a triangle. This 3 spots, just like this. So that's what I'm going for right there. See it right here? It'll be like right here on my cheek. There, see the triangle? You got the top and the 2 bottoms. It's not perfect, but I'm hoping, but the bigger and bigger this gets, the more and more it weighs, so the more it'll, stretch those fillet parts out. But that's the shawl I'm working on designing. It's little, I honestly, I get so upset with myself because I can sit down, have something in my mind, start putting it on in yarn, and then once I go do something else and come back, I'm like, what did I do? I don't remember. And then I get confused. And so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to set this here and not work on this while we do this video, because I'm going to get so lost in it. It's not funny. And I don't want to mess it up because I got something good going. But anyway, if you guys are interested in that channel, I'll put a link in the description box. I'm going to write that down because I will definitely forget. All right. So, other than that, so a couple of things I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I have a little list over here. Just, I'm a list person. I have to list everything, and if I don't, or write it down, and if I don't, I'm going to forget it, and I can't help it. And my husband even, or I've even told my husband, I said, it scares me sometimes, my memory, because it just scares me, because in my mind I'm thinking, I hope I'm not getting like early Alzheimer's or dementia or something, because I cannot remember things. And a friend of mine and I were talking, and she said, you know, I didn't used to be like that until after she got COVID, and she had it bad. Like, she was in the hospital on oxygen, couldn't breathe bad. And she said, that's the one thing that I noticed as a side effect is my memory. She said, I could remember anything. And she said, now I can't remember anything. And I'm like, well, I'm kind of the same way, but I've been like that most of my life. But yeah, my memory's horrible. So I have notepads everywhere, and I'll be like, okay, do this, do this, do this. And then at the end of the day, I'll go back and I'll say, and I'll put a star. All right, I did that, paid that bill, did that. So yeah, I have notepads everywhere. But I did want to talk to you guys about something. My husband and I had a conversation, and this was not in any way an argument, a fight, that we don't, man, we're a married couple, everybody fights, right? Everybody has arguments. We haven't had an argument or a fight in quite a while. Anyway, knock on wood. But one thing that he brought to my attention is that he says, honey, you have a lot of stuff. And if we are going to be moving to Wisconsin to our new home, I think you're going to need to downsize a little bit. And I heard, you have too much stuff, get rid of it. And so that started this conversation. And I didn't get mad. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't, want to walk up there and karate chop him or something. I told him, I said, honey, I know I have a lot of stuff. I love a lot is what I tell him. And I said, well, like with Jean, everything Jean gave me the other day, absolutely love it. And I will cherish that and value it and take care of it till my days. And he's like, well, he's like, you got this, and you got this. And I said, yes. And then I went on and I was like, you have 2 garages full of all kinds of stuff. You have a farm full of all kinds of stuff. I have a room. Anyway, so moving on. I don't want to lose my train of thought. And I told him, I was like, I understand what you're saying, and I see what you're saying. I may not fully agree with it. I mean, yes, I can downsize some stuff. I would say the one thing that I would downsize is probably yarn, but I mean, right now I need it because it's what I use for my tutorials. But I told him, I said, I understand what you're saying, and I feel that I do what I do, have what I have, take care of what I have because of a few different reasons. See, I have a twin sister. I'm the oldest of several different siblings on from two parents, my mom and my dad. And Alicia, my twin sister, and I are the oldest out of all of them. And growing up, we live with my dad. My dad has Sam, which is my stepmom, and we never called her stepmom, and she never made us call her mom. You know, she wasn't that kind of a person. She said, and this is the same thing I told my daughter, this is how I learned to be a stepmom, is from my stepmom. And I told her, or she told us, I'm not here to replace your mom. I'm here to be a mother figure for you, and to be there when you need me, and to be your friend. You know, that's who I am. So you won't call me mom. I'm Sam. Her name's Sabrina, but everybody calls her Sam. So I had my dad and Sam growing up. Well, Sam had 2 daughters, and then together my dad and Sam had 1 daughter. So that was her 2, the one they had, and then me and Alicia, all in the house. So needless to say, I didn't come from a house that, you know, I went to my parents and said, I want this, and then they'd rush out and get it for me. Like, we didn't have that lifestyle. We struggled. We got what we got, and we weren't spoiled by any means. We weren't starving, and we didn't ask for a lot, because all of us kids knew what the situation was like, and you know, we had each other. That's all we needed, right? I mean, I couldn't tell you the number of times I got beat up because my sister was bored. Or I would take my little sister, just off the top of my head, and I know my dad and Sam are watching this, so I put my stepsister on my shoulders one time, and she was a little heavier than what I could hold, and yeah, we fell, and it was hard and rough, and she started crying, and I went to drag her into the bedroom, and I'm like, be quiet, you're gonna give me trouble. And I'm dragging her into the bedroom by her foot, and she's just squalling because it hurt. But anyway, what I'm like stretching this whole long story out to say is that we didn't get a lot. However, my dad and Sam always made sure all of us on our birthdays had what we asked for, and for Christmas had one big thing that we asked for, and then the rest of it they would just be like, oh, let's get him this, and like get him this. Which, now that I'm an adult, we're all adults now, the little things that we didn't ask for are the main things we all remember. Like, every Christmas they'd get us a toothbrush and a hairbrush and what, I don't remember where they sold them, but it was a candy cane. Probably maybe that long, and that thing was that fat. And that was like the best, because you would go in your room and you'd sit and play with whatever you got for Christmas, and then you would suck on that candy cane for weeks. And we used to, like, we'd suck on it as long as we could, and we'd get it to a point that would be, well, the candy cane's like that long, so the point would be like that long, and we could always, try to see who could get the point the longest and the sharpest. Yeah. Anyway, so, and I told my husband, I said, coming from a home from like that, I don't want to say we struggle, because we didn't struggle. Well, unless I don't know that we did, which I'm sure is probably the case. But anyway, we were fed, we were happy. So coming from that home, and then also, like I said, I had 4 siblings in that house, and then on my mom's side, there was 2 siblings. So a lot of my stuff was destroyed or tore up by kids, or a mean sister that wanted to, pester me, or, make me mad that day and pop my Barbie's head off, or, cut her hair off, or do whatever to her, or, just as an example. And so I think that, on top of our home, on top of, I will never forget, my mom told me, I can't remember what we were talking about. I don't remember what brought the conversation on. or what brought her to say this, but she looked at me, and my mom, you know, she was from the same, you know, lifestyle, didn't have a lot of money, yada yada. And I remember her plain as day telling me, Alana, I don't care if you live in a cardboard box. You take care of that cardboard box and you make that the best damn cardboard box around. And I was like, okay. And then she goes, you know, you take care of what you have, even if it's a dollar little doll that you found in an antique store. You love it, cherish it, and take care of it. So, and like I said, I don't know why it was started, why we were talking about it, but that stuck with me. And I remember where we were standing. I remember not what we were wearing, but the environment. I remember all of that, and I remember her looking at me and saying it. And then as I got older, I understood more and more and more why she had said that to me. So I think those three things on top of each other is why I have what I have. Now, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I have all kinds of stuff and blah, blah, blah. I don't. I have a room of stuff. I mean, it's our bedroom. And, you know, that's where my stuff is, right? That's it. So, I mean, I don't want you guys to think like my house is overflowing with junk, because it's not. It's just my husband. Anyway, so I that's one thing one reason I wanted to bring that up is because I wanted to make sure Jean understands that not understands, but I mean, I will highly value what you've given me, and I love it a lot. And it's going in my collection. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. And another reason why I keep tripping and stumbling over my words, and it's driving me nuts, and I'm getting aggravated, so I'm trying not to. But what I'm trying to say is that I wanted to know if you guys feel the same way with your stuff. It's like, I'm not materialistic. I don't feel like materialistic is the right word, because I feel materialistic makes me instantly think the type of woman that has to have the high dollar clothes, that has to have, you know, the best of everything that they own has to be the best. That is not me at all. I mean, you guys know that. How many videos have I done showing you guys this stuff that I find at antique stores for $2 or, you know. And, I mean, I've lost this close to 50 pounds, and I still wear the clothes that I had because I don't want to go buy new clothes. Because, I mean, I can still wear the shirts. I just tie a little bow in the side, on my side of my shirt, and it fits just fine. So, I mean, to me, that's what materialistic means, and I am by no means like that. I just like what I have. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna move on, because I feel like I'm just rambling, and you guys are probably like, good grief, move on. But I did want to tell you guys, I have a story. So for those of you that watched my that fanned flower little hot pad tutorial, I mentioned at the beginning of it that we had taken our air conditioners out, the window units, and so it was quiet in the tutorial. I'm like, this is so weird, it's quiet. And I had said something about it, but did I or not? I don't remember if I said this or not. So we have two upstairs. One of them is real big and heavy, and then the other one I can just wrap my arms around it and pick it up and take it out of the window and set it on the floor. And then my husband will come and get it, take it downstairs. Well, he had already gotten the big one out and taken it downstairs and was putting it out in the garage. And I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and grab this smaller one and set it down for him so he doesn't have to do it. And I reach in there to grab the air conditioner, pick it up, and then set it down on the ground, and then turn around to go hurry up and shut the screen before one of my cats goes to jump out the window. So I reach over and like I reached with my hands like this. My head wasn't looking, and then I turned and looked and went to pull the screen down. And when I did, I saw this, oh, I don't know, maybe that long of a furry thing. And I was like, ah, what is that? And it wasn't moving. Well, I mean, it was kind of like wiggling or like breathing. And I was like, and I'm not afraid of mice or, rats or anything like that. And I was like, what? And I looked at it and I looked at it and I was like, holy cow, that is a bat. It was a bat. Like, oh, I bet he was that long. And it was under the air conditioner. So like the back part of the air conditioner that sticks out the window, he must have like gotten up underneath there on the little window ledge and between the window ledge and the air conditioner. And he apparently had been there for a while because there was little pieces of poop and a little pile of pee or a little puddle of pee. And I was like, crap. So my husband's outside in the garage. I've got a cat trying to get in the dang window because they're all excited because the windows are open, so they get to sit in the window and look outside. So I'm trying to keep the cat out of the window, shut the screen so the cat doesn't jump out the window, and then keep the cat off this bat. So I pick up Churchy and I got him under my arm, and he's a bigger cat, so he's flopping around under my arm. And I run downstairs. The other two are in the window looking downstairs. And I run downstairs and I, toss Churchy to the side and I open the screen door and I'm like, honey! And it echoed through our driveway in the neighborhood. And he stepped out, and I think it was one of those things that he could detect the shock in my voice, because most of the time when I do that, he's like, what? And I'm like, honey! And he goes, what? And I'm like, there's a bat upstairs. And he's like, what? I said, yes, hurry up because the cat's gonna jump out the window. So I run back in the house, run up the stairs, and my husband's behind me with this little rag that he uses to clean the cars. And he sees it and he's like, whoa. And so he grabs it, he's got the rag around his hand and he grabs it, and this thing just latches on to, thankfully, is a wad of that towel or that rag that he's using. And its little ears are sticking up and wiggling, and it's just going, on this towel. And I'm like, it is the cutest thing ever. And my husband's like, you are nasty. I'm like, honey, it's adorable. So we get it outside, and I told him, I was like, you are not killing that. No way are you killing that. And he's like, it's probably sick and blah, 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 and it's shaking. I said, it's shaking because it's scared. And I said, he's not sick. He's fine. So we put him before we put him in the tree, I told my husband, I was like, okay, if it's still here tomorrow, do whatever you need to do. I said, because in the middle of the night, he's probably going to take off and go find another place to live. And before he puts it in the tree, I was like, honey. He's like, what? I said, can I please pet the back of its head? And he's like, no, it's going to bite you, blah, 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 blah. I was like, no, it's not. Just keep it turned, looking at you, since he's, biting on the towel. And I'm just going to take my finger and just touch the top of his head. And oh, it was so soft. My husband's holding it, and then it's looking this way, and I just came up and petted the back of its head like this, and it closed its eyes, and I was like, oh, I love it. And then I instantly went and washed my hands. But I could not believe there was a bat sitting there. So my husband put it in the tree, and then later on that evening, I went and looked, and I couldn't find him anywhere. So I told him, I said, see, I told you he was fine. He was just scared. I mean, you try having a big burly guy pick you up. He was scared. So I took a picture. So I am going to insert a picture here. He was cute. And then, but after that, I went upstairs and I took a 409 and 409 the whole window and cleaned it all out. And then that way my cats could get in there and not, get sick or anything. But I have never seen a bat like doing that. I mean, I've seen a bat in the sky and things, but I've never seen a bat curled up underneath an air conditioner. I guess he was cold. I don't know. But it was pretty cool. We took a video and pictures to show the girls when they got home. I was really hoping he'd still be in the window so they could see him. Or, I mean, in the window, in the tree so they could see him. But he was gone. And then, so, was that? No. This last weekend, my husband kind of every harvest, I was trying to remember what weekend it was. Every season before harvest, my husband always likes to take us all out to go, all of us go do something together, because he's not going to be able to for a few weeks, so he's got to get it out of his system. My husband is a shopper. He loves to shop and he loves to run. Yeah. Anyway, so we went, he found this thing online in Southern Illinois. It was a swap meet at a racetrack. And he wanted to go to it. And then he thought, then we could just hit up a few antique resale shops, pawn stores, whatever. And then just kind of like road trip back home. So, and we had a blast. We went to, okay, so in Missouri, southern Missouri, there is a place in, is it Sikeston? Or, no, I can't remember the name of the town. But anyway, it's called Boomland. And it's this huge store that sells fireworks. And my husband loves buying fireworks. And so we go in there, and I am, me and the girls are just kind of futzing around with each other while he's shopping for fireworks. And I look over, and there's $1 laying on the floor. And I was like, oh, and we were the only customers in the store. So I was like, that's mine. So I went and grabbed it, and I was like, look, I found $1. And I put it in my pocket. And then, we finished shopping around there. So connected to the fireworks part of the store is like a convenience store with, so they had like what you would need for on the road for traveling, and then just kind of other stuff they have that they sell, like t-shirts and wind chimes and jewelry boxes, just weird things that I can remember seeing off the top of my head. But so we went and shopped around there for a little bit. Then we decided to go, and we went to this racetrack where the swap meet was. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this isn't stuff that him or I would be looking for. So it was things like motors, farm animals, a lot of stuff that probably just could have been thrown away. I don't know. Anyway, so and I always say, if you're antiquing or going to thrift stores or going to resale shops, always keep an open mind, because the one time you don't is the one time you're going to find something you really want. And I did. Kind of. I guess I didn't really want it, but anyway. So we're looking around, and I'm looking around, and I'm nosing through box. Like, they would have like gooseneck trailers, or not, lowboy trailers, like full of boxes full of junk. So you would have to dig through the box to see if there was anything you wanted. And I did that for a little bit. Then I was kind of like, I'm sick of digging. And, a lot of it's covered in like dead bugs and cobwebs. And I was like, yeah, I'm not seeing anything I'm interested in. And then I get annoyed because the person that's little area that you're in, if you look into a box, they're like, oh, I'd take $1 for that box. Or you glance at something to your side, they're like, oh, that's $2. And it's like, I'm just looking, leave me alone. That annoys me. Anyway, so I'm walking past this trailer, and I look over, and I saw something that I love, and that is these little, okay, so I instantly think Dollar General has these every holiday, and it's the little solar powered, things that kind of go like this in the sunshine, or they'll go like this or whatever. I love those little things. I have a couple of them in my kitchen in the window, and I have a couple of them in another room in the window. I think they're adorable. And I glance over and I see this whole box of them. And I see a few that I know I already had, and they were covered in like, okay, so do you guys know like outside of your windows in the summer, if there's a spot, or maybe like on your patio furniture or something, or I know sometimes I get them in my house because, flies get in the house, and that when they land, they always leave that like little circle spot, like a puke spot or whatever it is. Well, these things were covered in that, and they were covered in dead bugs and cobwebs, and I was just like, okay. So I look around in the box, and I saw one that I have never seen before, and it's a little hula girl playing a ukulele, and her hips, and she did this. And then there was a flamingo one that I had never seen, and I saw a couple of Halloween ones that I had, and I was like, I don't need them. And the woman, of course, saw me looking in the box, and she's like, I'd take $1 for that. And I was like, no, because I don't have anywhere to put all of those. And I walked on, and I got, I don't know, a yard, 3 yards away, and I was like, I really did like that hula girl. So I was like, fine. And I went back, and I was like, here, I will give you $1, which is the dollar I found in Boomland on the floor. I said, I will give you $1 for that box. She's like, all right, deal. So I gave her the $1, and I took the box, and I just closed the lid and didn't even look in it until the next day, maybe. I think it may have been the next day or that night. I don't know. Anyway, so we went and looked around, and Emma found a picture frame that she wanted to put a picture that she painted for her friend for her birthday. She wanted to put the picture in that frame, so she bought that for $1, and that's the only thing we bought. We went back to the truck, and then we started heading home. We stopped at a few resale shops and pawn stores. The only thing I found, which I told myself I wasn't going to buy any more of these, but I couldn't help it. And then I did find something I've seen before, and I finally was just like, fine, I'm going to get it. But I did buy her, I need to fix her little bow, her tie right there. I re-tied it, but the ribbon had been tied for so long that now the bows are all wonky. So I would probably take my blow dryer and maybe just get it a little warm and get it to lay the way I want to. But I found her, and there was, well, where did I put it? Did I not bring it in? Oh, it's right here. They had her for $3, and then they had another one, and I could tell her, her head, because the head and the arms and sometimes the legs are held by rubber bands. And for some reason, I don't know why, but every time I see these at an antique store, it's always a group of them in a Ziploc bag for however much. Well, this was a Ziploc bag that had 3 of them in it for $7, which wasn't bad. I mean, I kind of was like, I don't want this to be a wasted trip all the way down here, so I was just like, I'll get it anyway. So I bought them, and one of them that was in the bag, I could tell it, its head was laying like this, and I think an arm was broke off, like just like right here. The rest of it was gone, and I was like, well, the dress is really pretty, and then I could just use her for parts, maybe, like, well, it would just be the head and the body because the arms weren't usable. So I took her apart and kept her dress, but I really like the dress. I think it's really pretty. I untied the bows because they're not, like, there's a bow here and then a bow at the waist, and it's not at the center of the doll. It's like off to the side. So I'm going to what am I trying to say? Reweave it and then tie it so the bow is in the center on the front and the back. But it's this little green dress with a little hat. You can see what I'm talking about, how it's like off to the side, and then this one's off to this side. But I thought, you know what, it has this one in it, so I'll just go ahead and put it on her and then put her up on my shelf. So I got that. I thought they were really pretty. And then, like I said, I have seen these before. I never broke down and bought one. To be 100% honest with you, every time I see them, they are so overpriced. It's ridiculous sometimes. I understand these are handmade, and I understand the pricing of some of it, but sometimes it's like, okay guys, that's ridiculously priced. So sometimes I've seen these as much as like $25, and I'm like, no, I'm not paying that. But this one was $5, and I thought, you know, I really like this, and I thought, I need something to add to my wall for my background when I film, and I thought this is small enough, and I love it because it's clean, it's pretty, it's well made, and I like the colors on it. So it's this, which is a hat that is actually, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a pin cushion because it's squishy right here. But I will not use that as a pin cushion because I like it. So I figure I will probably put that right about there maybe. Or rearrange some stuff. Now that I'm noticing it, you guys don't see a lot of what I have hanging here. Maybe there. I don't know. But I like it. I think it's really pretty. She did great on it. It's just a little hat. So I got that. And then we went out to eat, and we went to a pawn store, and I found a vintage video game for my Nintendo. I don't know. I didn't end up buying it. I was just like, I think I've spent enough today, which really wasn't that much. But we had fun together as a family. We had a great day. So then, that was Saturday. So then Sunday, there is a town, probably, what is that, an hour maybe? Well, maybe not that. Maybe about 40, 45, 50 minutes away. They have a pickers market where they shut down the whole downtown, and then everybody sets up and sells their stuff. And I told my husband, we had never been to it. I had never even heard of it, which was kind of shocking to me because I thought I knew all of this kind of stuff around me. It turns out I didn't. But we got up and we got ready Sunday morning and headed over there. And again, it was the same kind of stuff. Just one, they would be way overpriced. And I understand they're trying to make money. But it's aggravating whenever I see something that I have bought multiple times for $2-3, and then so like for instance, I saw a Cupid doll. I find those all the time at antique stores, and I can buy them depending on the size, obviously, because there's so many different sizes. $2 to like $8, like the bigger ones, like $8. And that's a little on the high side. I think most of the times I find them are like $5. But they had a bigger one that was like $15. And I was like, you guys, no, I'm not doing that. And so I mean, I kept seeing things like that, or like one thing that I have always wanted is, I remember when I was a kid, my mom, redhead, freckled, pale complexion, loved to lay out all the time, and she would always put baby oil all over herself, so that smell of my mom in baby oil, I instantly think of summer and, you know, my mom laying out in her bikini all the time. And she would always lay out in those chairs that like, so here, like, let's say here's your butt, here's where your leg goes, and then here's where like your head and everything goes, and they fold, well, I shouldn't have done that, they fold up to like a sandwich and they unfold again, and it's got that ting 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 sound. So when you fold up the feet part and the leg part, and then the legs come, or the head part, and then the legs come up, I've always wanted one of those. But every time I find them, that material that the chair's made out of, like that vinyl rubbery stuff, is always rotted and gone. And so I can never find one. Well, they had one there, and it was all like that 70s olive green, which I thought was awesome because I loved it. And I thought I would dress that up with something else orange and just make that as 70s as I could. And I thought, man, I'd pay $30 for that, just because I wanted it so bad. And it was in great shape. That plastic wasn't, you know, dry rotted or any of that. And it had a big thick pillow in it. I wanted this thing. And I grabbed the price tag, and they wanted $75 for it. And I was like, oh, no. Nope. And I folded it back up, put the price tag, and I was like, nope, and walked away. But, yeah, other than that, my girls got lunch, and my husband and I got a Bloody Mary for, I think they were $3, and it was like 11 o'clock, and the guy outside of the bar that was part of the downtown was like, we've got $3 margarita, or God, why can I not talk? $3 Bloody Marys, blah, blah, blah. And I look at my husband. He's like, are you hungry? He's like, no. He goes, you want a Bloody Mary? I was like, yeah. So we drank a Bloody Mary while we were walking a part of the market, and the girls were eating pulled pork, I think. I don't know. But, well, then we come to this booth, and I'm looking around, and I see a few dolls, and I see some Cupid dolls that, of course, are in a wooden case with a glass lid padlocked shut. And I was like, I'm not even going to ask, because I guarantee you they're going to want way too much for that. It was a little Cupid doll with a crochet dress. I was like, no, I don't want to, because it's going to aggravate me. They want so much for it. And I looked and looked and looked at a few things. So I look, and there's these 2 boxes on the ground. And it had dolls missing heads. It had dolls missing arms. Dolls missing eyes. And I looked in there, and I just kind of moved some stuff around. And the guy that owned the little area was like, hey, everything in that box is free. And I was like, really? And I looked down, and there's this lady next to me, and she was looking in one box, and then there was a lady walking away as he said that, and she busted out laughing, because apparently I must have had a face that was complete shock. And I was like, okay. And I go in this box, and I start digging into the bottom of it, and I found something. Before I show you, I was so excited when I saw it, because one, I loved the face of this doll. It's adorable. That's all I saw was its little face looking at me like that from the bottom of the box. And I'm like, you're mine. And I grabbed it, and I did what I pretty much knew this doll was going to do because of what I saw. And I did what this doll does. I don't want to tell you yet. I don't want to ruin it. And the woman that was laughing when I must have done a face, she found me later on walking down the street, and she was like, how did you know that doll was going to do that? And I said, because what I saw under the dress. But anyway, I grabbed 2 dolls. One of them, so this one I grabbed because I had never, oh, and it's still got the thing around its neck I didn't cut off. Or maybe that's part of the dress. Oops, yeah, don't cut that. Because I mainly wanted this one because I want to crochet an outfit for her. And I instantly, when I look at her, she's Native American, American Indian. And I thought, man, I bet I could crochet something that would make her look like, using real thin thread, look like, well, okay, so the native dolls that Jean gave me, so something like that, but on her using crochet thread. And she's just got the cutest little face. I'm trying to get it to where the light's not shining on her face, because it makes it look like it's giving her tears or something. But her eyes are constantly going to the side. So I just grabbed her because I didn't want to leave her. And she's missing a finger. But she's cute. But the other doll that I found that I instantly fell in love with, you guys probably know what she does from that sound. Well, I shouldn't say her. It could be a he. Is da, 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 da. This! Isn't it adorable? Look at that face. And it's got a little tuft of hair. He does have a little bit of a brown spot right there. And I tried everything to, well, actually there too. I've tried everything to try to get that off. So through my very limited knowledge of cleaning old dolls, I know that acetone nail polish remover, or just acetone, will take color off of certain things, but it will not take these, like these little spots on the, and it's that squishy old plastic. It will not take it off. Now, if I'm not careful, that acetone will take off the eyebrows, the eyes, the lips, everything. But it will not take those brown spots off. The only other thing I could think of, which I would probably never do, is pop the head off and try cleaning it from the inside. But I don't want to risk not being able to get the head back on. So he has a few bruises from falling down. So when I saw this doll, all I saw was it laying like this and it looking up at me, and its face was filthy. Like, so the guy that owned this booth area, whatever you want to say, he looked very rough around the edges. You know, a lot of his stuff was like old engine, car parts, tractor parts, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, you could kind of tell, you kind of get an idea of what everything in that box looked like. It's very dirty, oil stuff all over. Anyway, so I see that face, and I'm like, yes, I can clean that. And when I picked her up, or him up, I felt something on the back, and then I lifted. I'm holding on to it so it doesn't take off. And I lifted the dress, and I saw this. So see how the feet are separate? And it's just on this little piece. I knew instantly what this doll does. So I snatched him up as fast as I could, and I thought, nobody's getting him. So here is what he does. Is that not the cutest? I could just watch that and laugh and smile for hours. I gotta let him run out. It's like a little wiggling baby trying to get away from you. Any second now. Okay. Oh. Alright. Anyhow, so I got them home. Actually, that one, the other one that I showed you, wasn't dirty or anything. I mean, its hair is a little matted, but I can fix that. But I got him home and I took the little nightgown dress off and the bonnet I took off, and I cleaned him and I made sure the joints looked pretty nice and weren't, he wasn't about to lose a leg or something. And I took the dress. It had 2 spots right here on the chest. I took the dress off, and then underwater at my sink, I just, held the dress in my hand and covered it in dish soap and ran it under the water a little bit, and then just squeezed and kind of rubbed around a little bit, and then I'd squeeze, rinse, squeeze, rinse, squeeze, rinse, and then I held it up, and I think I put it on the side of a cup, actually, and then put a little fan in front of it and let it dry. It came out perfect. But I love him. He's adorable. But anyway, I was so super excited to show that to you guys and to tell you the story that the guy said it was free. And I apparently made a face that made another woman laugh. And then later on found me down the street and asked me how I knew that doll was going to do that. And I said, when I picked it up and I saw that the feet weren't attached and it was on a little, a little base that was going to move, I was like, yep, that doll's going to wind up and walk. So I got that. And this is going to be a longer video. I guess I should have said that at the end. I'm fine with that. I like listening to people talk while I crochet, or you guys just watch. So some of you may know, some of you that have been with me for a while may know that something else that I love to have from my childhood is a Viewmaster. I remember being, I don't remember how old I was, but my sister and I, we would sit and watch these and go through them and giggle at the pictures and laugh and laugh and laugh. I love these things. So I have one for each of my girls and one for me with just a little handful of the discs. Because once again, I see them all the time, but they are way overpriced. Anyway, so I see at one of the last booths we were at, my daughter Emma, she's the one that was like, Viewmaster. She pointed, she's like, I see the red, that's a Viewmaster. It's like, yes, jackpot. So we go over there and there's 2 Ziploc bags. So there were 2 viewfinders. One of them was $10 with 3 discs, and one of them was $3 with 2 discs. And I thought, okay. So my husband was like, make her an offer on both. And I was like, well, honey, I said, I don't know why one of them is so much cheaper than the other. I said, I bet something's broken there and it doesn't work. Well, that's what it was. She got one out of the bag, and I could tell she didn't know what she was doing because she was putting the discs in backwards, and you gotta line it up, put it in, and then that's how they work, yada yada. She had it backwards and rotated and turned and trying to do this, and I'm like, okay. She's like, she's like, yeah, this one don't work. And then the other one, she still did it wrong, but it was still flipping through the pictures. And I thought, okay, so $10 for one with 3 discs, a bit high, and then one with 2 discs that doesn't work for $3. And she looked at me and she was like, $10 for both. And I was like, deal. Because a lot of the times I find discs for these, they are, I think the last time I found them, somebody was trying to sell them for like $7 a piece. And I was like, no, that's crazy. And then I've seen people selling these for like $25 a piece. And I was like, no, I find them other places for $4 to $8 on the high end. No way. So I was like, yes, I will take them. So I bought these 2 and 5 discs. And one of them, I think they're all Walt Disney, to be honest. There's Love Bug, which from 1968, which is Herbie. What's the name of that car? The Volkswagen Beetle. Is it her? Why can I not think of that? Herbie? That does not sound right to me. I don't know if that's it or not. I don't know. Anyway, well, does it say? No, it doesn't say. Why does that not sound right? I don't know. Anyway, so then there was Quick Draw McGraw. That's not Disney. That's Hanna-Barbera. That is the mouse. Well, I want to see if I can't. I don't know how I would be able to get you guys to see this unless I took you to my desk. But maybe I can. Oh. Can you? Well, let me get a better picture. I want you to be able to see both of the characters. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to go slow so it'll... Or, well, let's do it on this one. No, because that one has a spot I couldn't get off. There. There we go. Almost. Almost. We're losing it. Anyway, it's, a mouse, or, I think it's a mouse, I don't know. And a horse. Looking for a year. 61. I remember, I don't know if I watched the cartoon. Yeah, I probably did. Along with, like, Looney Tunes, things like that. And then it had, The Jungle Book 1 and 2. And Peter Pan. That's 1957, Peter Pan. And then 1966 for the Jungle Book. But anyway, so I had these 5 discs, 2 Viewmasters, 1 worked, 1 didn't. So I got it home along with everything else, the dolls, the solar things that I had bought, and I cleaned all the solar things, and would you believe it? I accidentally broke the wing of the flamingo when I was cleaning it. I did super glue it back on, and it works perfectly fine, but I was so aggravated I broke that, dang it. But so I got everything cleaned up, got him cleaned up, everything's working great, and I thought, you know what? I have those 3 other Viewmasters that are mine and the girls, one extra, you know, that works just fine. Oh, excuse me, I just burped. And I thought, I'm gonna take a flathead screwdriver, and I'm gonna go in here, put it in there, and turn. And then go in here, put it in there, and turn. And I just kept doing that, and eventually I popped the 2 pieces apart. And there was, if you can see, right there, these 2, they're the pictures on the discs, the little black squares, had fallen out and gotten stuck inside there. And they're Mary Poppins. And so I got them out and looked at everything else, which inside of these things is nothing but a post. This thing is a plastic circle with a little piece that sticks up that catches the disc and turns the disc. everything was fine. It was perfectly fine. Put the little spring back on there, and, you know, kind of cleaned up a little bit of the black spot, and put it back together, and it works fine. So now I have 2 working Viewmasters. I text my husband, and I was like, did you know your wife is a genius? He's like, what'd you do now? Every time I figure something out, I text him that. I'm like, I am a genius. But he's like, what'd you do? And I was like, I fixed that viewfinder. So now we have 5 viewfinders that work perfectly fine. So that was our weekend. We had a blast. We spent, you know, the weekend, all 4 of us together, running around, pestering each other, laughing, giggling, having a good time. We had a blast. Yeah. Trying to, I had something. Yeah, I've told you guys everything. I feel like I'm leaving something else out, but no. Everything I just kind of scribbled down in passing that I could think of that I wanted to get in this video I've talked about. I didn't know it was going to take me an hour to ramble on about it. Sorry. Sometimes it feels good to be able to sit down, and from on my end, it's me chatting to a phone camera, but picturing all your faces on the other end just listening to me. Because here's how I like to explain it. I am the type of person that I love to listen. I love, you know, if somebody comes to me and the girls, like, well, for instance, the girls, mainly the girls, they'll come to me and they'll be telling me this, and I'm like, what? Really? You know, listening to their story. And, you know, then I'll give them my feedback, or I'll say, you know, maybe you should try this. Like, that's me. I am that person that everybody wants, you know, comes to and tells me their, you know, their story. But sometimes it feels good just to tell you about mine. Not a lot of, I mean, I have a handful of friends not on YouTube, and I mean, a lot of them don't care about things like that, you know. So I have one friend that I would tell just because she knows how much I love it. But other than that, anybody else I would tell would be like, oh, really? And I instantly know they don't care. But I know you guys care. Dang it, I was so happy when I found that. And I was just like, I can't wait to show everybody on YouTube. But he is going in my collection somewhere. I'll add him. And you know, how many times have I said that I'm going to show you guys my collection? I still plan on doing it. It's just, I want, a lot of it is like things not done. So like, I mean, for instance, one thing that I can see just right off the top of my head are I have a basket of these that I want to crochet little outfits for. And thank you to Miss Jean. If I could meet you, I'd hug you, just But she gave me patterns that have like all kinds of different outfits for these Cupid dolls. And I'm going to make a whole little village. Like, just Cupid Village is what it's going to be called. I was going to say Alana's Cupid Village, but no, it's just Village of Cupid. I have enough that I'm going to do that. And I know what I'm going to make, what clothes I'm going to make them now because of everything that Jean gave me. So thank you, Jean. Thank you. I feel like I could not say that enough as how, well, I think the end of that video shows you guys. I was trying my hardest not to break down crying because I was like overwhelmed with joy and happiness because I, you know, got this box of patterns and dolls from mid-'80s to the early 90s that today people throw away, but to me those little things make me so stinking happy. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here, guys. I've been rambling for a while, and I'm sure some of you are probably like, okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna put these up. But I want to thank you guys for watching. And stick with me for just a second, because I had a friend, actually this Anne is her name. She's the same one that got me the bears and the same one that I can talk to about stuff like this. But she asked me, she said, have you gotten any more tales for Crocheter Tales? And I said, no, I haven't. And I said, I haven't gotten any, so I kind of, let it go to the wayside and not ask anybody for stories. And she goes, I loved watching that. She goes, I loved watching your videos, you telling stories like of what people wrote in. And she was like, you need to start asking again. I was like, yeah, you're right, I know. So if you guys could please, just jot it down real quick, or I lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with that. I was going to say something else. Anyway, send me in your, email me in your Crocheter Tales, and then in the subject line of the email, put Crocheter Tales, because I don't want to miss it. And I do want to say that I found out the last Crocheter Tale that I had read, the gentleman that sent it to me passed away before I read it on camera. And that was so sad. I was like, my friend Kaylin from Kay's Crochet Haven, I'll put a link in her description box. I'll put a link in my description box for her. Text me, and she was like, Alana, the guy that you read, or that, because I had told her about what I read. She goes, he died. It's like, how did you know that? She goes, he's a friend of a friend of a friend, and they passed down the line and told me. I was like, what? So then I felt awful because I waited so long to film the video of me reading his Crocheter Tale. And yeah, I felt horrible for that. But I'm going to write down to link Kay's crochet channel. Anyway, so if you guys have a story, write it in or email it to me, and I will get that little series going again, because I loved doing that. That was fun. And the pictures you guys would send, yes, that made me happy. So email me. It's in the if you go to the description box, all the way at the bottom, it'll have my email address. And then there's links for my Facebook group. There's links for my Instagram, my, not Twitter? I don't know what it's called now. X, Twitter, I don't know. There's links to that. There's links to, in this video, there will be links to my gaming channel if you guys want to check that out. And I did have several people say things like, I would never watch this kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you are free to tell me that. I mean, I totally get it, and I totally understand. And I thank you for just taking the time out of your day to check it out. I do have two different kinds of games going. Different ends of the spectrum. This game is zombie killing, apocalyptic love story-ish kind of thing, cussing and murder and violence and yada yada. Then on this side is more of a, it's Link, it's Zelda, one of my favorites. It's a remake of one of my favorites, actually, and it's so stinking cute. It's a little Link, and he just travels around, and I'm saving Princess Zelda again. But it's adorable. I love that one. So if this isn't your thing, check this one out. And if both aren't your thing, thank you for giving me a chance. That's all I gotta say. So thank you for that. And yeah, so that's it. I think I'm done rambling for today. What's this weekend? We have a volleyball tournament this weekend. And then my nephew's birthday party. And that's it. So I hope you guys have a spectacular weekend. I hope you guys just get projects done. I hope you guys just get everything accomplished that you need to get accomplished. And you just, at the end of the day, you sit down and you're like, I had a dang good weekend. I got everything done I wanted to get done. And if not, I still hope I hope this video made you smile. How's that? Then that I made it a good weekend. How's that? All right, I'm getting sappy. thank you guys for watching. Check out that description box. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys thought of my video. Let me know what you thought of him and how ecstatic I was for that guy to say everything in that box is free. And my husband's like, I can't believe you didn't pick up the box and just walk away. I was like, it crossed my mind. The lady next to me, you know, an older lady, I said, that kind of kept me from doing it. I said, but I thought about it. Anyway. All right. You guys are the greatest. I'd hug all of you. And you know what? Everybody that is still with me for this part, even though it's the very end, in the description box, I want you all to tell Jean, Jean, which, in case I didn't tell you, is my middle name. Thank you. I couldn't remember where I was going with that. Thank you for everything that she gave me. Okay? Say, Jean, you're the greatest. Thank you. All right, I'm getting off here for real now, I promise. I'll see you guys Monday in my shawl tutorial. The matinee shawl. All right, love you all. Bye.